building cob. And this right here is my source of sand. Lots of people, when they're building cob houses or cob ovens, will obtain the building materials right from their property site. She also had some clay that was dug out of a building site somewhere near here in the vicinity, but it's a local material, and it was some yellow clay, and she had it delivered for, I think it was $50 for a truckload, which is quite cheap. So what we're going to do is we're going to take this bucket and just start filling it with sand, and then I take it over to the wheelbarrow over there and I sift it, and then we're going to mix that with, so about 80% of sand mixed with 20% of clay. So like for every 1 bucket of clay, I'll put in 4 buckets of sand, and then we'll mix in some straw and the correct amount of water to give it the right consistency, and we'll start building that cob oven. There it is. This is our mixing trough. This is our straw. Here's all of our sand. And a water bucket. Clay.
Okay, Sasha, what are you doing now?
I'm making cob with my feet. So we took the sand and we took the clay and water and alfalfa straw.
Alfalfa stems,
And we mixed it all together, and now I'm stepping on it to make sure that every particle of sand and straw and clay are intimately combined.
and it's getting slushy.
Yeah, and it looks like it's the right consistency. So we're going to start building right over there and get to work on this oven. Yay, you're missing it. Second to get its mixture right out. It feels really bad at first. It's like,
What you doing?
Huh?
What you doing?
Oh, I'm making cob again, but this time we're doing it with a tarp. So
Instead of in that half bucket, instead of half barrel.
Right. You can make a little bit more this way. We hope. But yeah, it takes a second to get it all worked in, and then.
And you've got a big gob of sand.
Yeah.
And then you've got a little bit of clay. I think you need more clay.
Well.
And then you've got those alfalfa stems.
You can always adjust it as you go.
And how about your feet? Are they killing you stepping on?
Fantastic. It feels
They're not.
like therapy.
It's not.
It's not abrasive.
I would just imagine the ends of those stems would just be digging holes in your feet.
That all depends on your feet.
And you have.
I have tough feet.
Yeah, what was that kind of feet, you know, where you were running barefoot?
Well, that's 2012. 2012, which is a while ago, I just trained as a barefoot runner.
Oh, yeah, so you toughened your feet up then, so maybe you have some residual foot toughness.
But I like to go barefoot and always have.
Oh.
Probably counts.
And one other way of doing this is you could, if you wanted to forego the delight of stepping on, you could be jumping on the outside of the tarp instead of the inside.
I like this because I can see the texture and feel the texture with my feet, and I know where the sand, like there's a bunch of sand right here, I can feel it. And
Where?
Right here. It's dry, you can see it. And then there's a bunch of wet, sloppy stuff over here, so I can mix it all together. And you can grab any edge.
Right.
Mix it in. And then work in it again. But it's a lot easier than doing it with your hands.
Yes.
Which I found out already.
And being able to pull that tarp speeds up the mixing.
Yeah, it does.
Instead of trying to stir it around with your toes inside the...
Yeah. I'm a baker who likes to make everything by hand too. I don't like to use mixer machines because I don't like the noise.
Oh, you mix with your hands?
I do. It really appeals to me. But it's even more fun because whoever gets to mix anything with their feet? I mean, come on.
Hardly anybody but a very young child. Out in a mud puddle against their mother's wishes, usually.
Yeah. If my mother ever sees this video, she's going to say, "Oh, I saw you doing that when you were 2 years old and you were so happy, and you're still the same little." Yeah.
Yes. Life is offering you fulfillment.
I see it's starting to take on a consistency that's more regular, and I would probably add even more straw to this.
Okay, so you're getting it more incorporated?
Yeah, so we just added the last of that straw, and it looked like it wasn't going to take it, but it really does. It takes it really well, and I think that's going to help it hold together. If we need to add any water, we can always add more water. If we need to add any more clay, we can always add more clay.
How's it feeling as far as consistency?
It's a lot stiffer. You can tell it's not smashing so easily now, but it's also a lot more combined. You can see the colors changing where the clay is mixed with the sand. The sand is red and the clay is yellow.
Yeah, that clay came from a kind of a shale pit over in Yale.
I wondered if it was Yale, yeah.
And yeah, they were making a parking lot and they had to remove some earth, and it was just slippery clay, but it had shale in it. And so I told him, I said, that will probably cut our feet. And he said, well, I'll wait and get you some. I think there's some that doesn't have as much shale pieces in it. And
yeah,
so
this feels great for building now.
So
I really
he did.
think I could
So
make
now
a
you
cob
think
of
it's...
it, yeah. Make a gob of cob. It'd be great.
Hey, there's a little mud dauber. He wants to steal your mud.
He does.
Where is he? There he is.
Look at his pretty purple wings. See,
Interesting.
he thinks that's useful too, don't you?
Yeah. And then he's going to try and scare you and act like he's going to sting you. Or no, maybe that's just the way he gets mud.
He took it!
Did he take a little ball?
He did!
Little ball?
He's got a little ball of my mud! Oh, now I feel like I'm part of the ecosystem.
Yes!
That's great.
I like doing that sound. Slamming it method.
Yeah, it gets right behind the chicken wire.
Oh, good.
It's right up behind there, and then I push it down with something else.